Have you heard about the 2018 study that showed half of prenatal vitamins tested had unacceptable levels of heavy metals? No? Well, now you have. I'm Kat, mother of 3 and founder of Ritual, the company making traceability the new standard in the supplement industry. I remember staring at my prenatal vitamins and finding all these things I was trying to avoid. High amounts of heavy metals, synthetic colorants, and unnecessary ingredients. So, at 4 months pregnant, I quit my job and started Ritual because I believe that all women deserve to know what they're putting in their bodies and why. I'm so proud of our prenatal vitamin. The ingredients are 100% traceable, it's third-party tested for microbes and heavy metals, and recently received the Purity Award from the Clean Label Project. You see, we trace like a mother because, let's be honest, no one cares quite like a mother. But don't just take my word for it. Trace for yourself with 25% off at ritual.com/podcast.
Hey, it's Kim Komando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. So MrBeast came up with a really big accomplishment today. Did you hear about it?
I did. I'm so proud of him.
I know. 300 million subscribers.
That's so many people.
So many people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of like the Taylor Swift of the internet.
That's true.
Now, his real name is Jimmy Donaldson. Do you know how he came up with MrBeast? I thought this was really interesting.
No, I don't.
Okay. He was playing Xbox as a kid. And at that time, Xbox would give you like auto-generated gamer tags. And so it came up with MrBeast.
You're kidding me. This was an auto-generated name.
Yeah. And so that's how he came up with MrBeast. So I started thinking about this. I mean, what if Xbox came up with another auto-generated name? Okay. And they just added like an R to it. So it'd be like Mr. Breast. I mean,
he might have hit 300 million a lot faster.
Exactly. And on that happy note, welcome. It's Kim Komando Today. It's your fun podcast about all things digital. And in case you're wondering, no, this is not the Kim Komando Show. The Kim Komando Show is different. That's where I answer caller questions and we throw in a whole bunch of news and tips. Kim Komando Today is where we just kind of like sit back, we relax, and we do go through what's happening in the tech world. But we do it like in a nonchalant way because I'm not constrained by all those commercial breaks that I need to make.
And we get to make Mr. Breaststroke here.
Exactly. Can't do that on the Kim Komando Show. And joining me is our amazing content queen, Ali Seligman. So, Ali, what do you have for us today?
It's hot, Kim.
Oh,
and we're
yes.
going to talk about just how hot. NASA actually did a study here in Phoenix with some pretty scary results. And then we are also going to talk about your voice. Is it good to use your voice to authenticate your accounts? Maybe not.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah.
I think my voice is out there like way too much.
I think so too. I think just using you saying I'm Kim Komando to open your bank account, not going to work.
It's going to be a bad idea. I'll just use my password, 000000. Yes, of course. Hey, just a quick reminder, don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And just tell one person about Kim Komando Today. That's all we do. That's all we ask you to do. And just a reminder that we are giving away a $1,000 gift card to your favorite airline. So this way you can still take that vacay before the end of summer. And so to enter to win, go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Some other gamer tags that are out there. Shaquille Oatmeal. Isn't that funny? And I'll never forget when I saw one. It was like wispy butt hair. Okay, as a gamer tag. Could you imagine?
Yes. I can picture the person who plays as wispy butt hair.
What should I be? Wispy butt hair. Sure. I think that works.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the top 5 things that are happening in the tech world right now that you need to know about. We're going to start with Airbnb. Yes. Have you ever worried that there were hidden cameras in an Airbnb?
Not until I started working here. Okay. And now every time, yes.
I mean, Madini was telling me that there was one in her Airbnb, like pointed at the bed. Okay. I stayed at an Airbnb years ago and there were like 8 hidden cameras in this thing. It was
Great.
Just nuts. Well, as it turns out, there's a lawsuit that's happening right now. And one of the Airbnb employees was testifying on the stand saying that, well, yeah, when people tell us about the hidden cameras, we don't really notify them until we notify the host, and we don't notify police, even if there's a kid involved.
great. That's terrifying.
Isn't it, though?
Good. I think most logical people would assume, great, you report it to Airbnb, they tell the police that all this gets documented, but apparently not.
And so people are saying, like, we all wonder why hotels are back in fashion.
Truly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Speaking of hotels, let me tell you, this trick that I did. I just got back from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was so wonderful.
I'm so jealous.
I love Hawaii.
I know you do.
I do.
And you hadn't been in a while, right? I mean, a while for you.
Yeah, I mean,
For normal people.
I think Ian said that he has been to Hawaii, I don't know, 82 times, something like that in his life.
Okay.
So much so that he doesn't want to go back. He's like, I want to see more of the world.
What a nice problem to have.
So what I ended up doing is I went onto the website for the hotel, Four Seasons, and then looked at all their specials. And then I called American Express and said, hey, can you book this for me and get the 5th night free? And they said, you know what? We can't do that.
Okay.
Okay. So then I called the hotel directly and I said, can you give me the 5th night free? And they said, oh, yes, of course. And we're going to give you this great rate. And they said, how are you going to pay? I said, American Express. They said, oh, okay, here's the deal. Is that in order to get the American Express amenities, it has to be booked under American Express. So we're going to give you the 5th night free and then call American Express and have them take over the reservation so that this way you get the Amex amenities, which is like late check-in, late checkout, $100 credit, you get the free breakfast, all the other great stuff. So
Okay, so probably, 5 minutes more of work for you, and you got the 5th night free.
Well, actually, you know what? And it was really nice. I spoke to this woman, Faye, and you have to always call the hotel director. She's so nice.
Yeah, you're not calling like if it's a big chain with a ton of hotels,
No.
you're not calling the reservations line, you're calling that hotel.
Yeah, so I spoke with Faye.
Yeah.
And and
Hi, Faye.
Hi, Faye. And I make friends, and like Ian always tells me, Barry, you make friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm similar.
And so I'm like, so Faye, like, what's the room that gets like requested the most?
Good question.
And she's like, oh, it's this room on the 2nd floor. It has a wraparound lanai and all this other great stuff.
Beautiful.
And then when I got to the hotel, I got a free room upgrade to the presidential suite.
Ooh, fancy.
I know.
Nice.
It was so
It's because you made
nice.
friends with Faye.
Probably.
Take a little more time, be nice to people, and you'll get better stuff. Who knew?
I know, right? Okay, moving on to number 2. If you're going to be traveling and using Google Maps, guess what? They're going to be putting ads into the feed. Yes. Love that.
It never ends.
You know what? There's going to be ads everywhere.
There already are. It's crazy. Everything you interact with.
I'm just surprised it took Uber so long to put ads into their app.
Yeah, that's true. It did take them a long time. They probably needed to figure out the way to get the most possible money from it.
Yes.
So they were workshopping it. The Google Maps one is a little scary though, because most cases, I, the driver, am using this phone to navigate, right?
Yes.
And then what? I have to dismiss an ad?
Well, get free French fries on Fridays at McDonald's.
Oh, great. I am an offender bender.
The third story is so annoying to me.
What?
Well, because printer ink is basically water.
Really expensive water.
Really expensive water,
Yeah.
okay? And they charge a fortune for the ink.
It's crazy.
Okay. And I've noticed though, but I'm not printing as much anymore. Do you really print anymore?
No, not a ton. No. I did a lot when we were working from home for whatever reason. I don't even know. I feel like I don't as much in the office, which is funny.
I probably print 6 pieces of paper a week.
You also used to print all your scripts.
That's
and now
right.
your iPad.
All right. I mean, and
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
and the show scripts were like 75 pages.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes 200 pages a week. And then, of course, I'd always hit that wrong button. And, where it's like, you want like 1 page of 1 copy of this. And then all of a sudden you're like, this thing's just spitting out. You're like, no, stop.
You can just see the money floating away.
It's like 5 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents. So Hewlett Packard, they came up with this great idea, is that they would sell you a printer that came with a subscription to ink. That's one thing. But it also required an internet connection.
Oh, yeah.
In order to work, because it's a printer.
Sure.
And you could only use Hewlett Packard cartridges, which meant that they were super expensive.
Yeah.
And then they got so many complaints. They said, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. Okay, we're just not going to do that anymore. Just with its LaserJet E-Series. So if you have a LaserJet E-Series, now is the time for you to box that sucker up and put it on eBay and sell it before the rest of the world, they don't listen to Kim Commando today, They're going to be like, oh, I'm going to get this smoking deal on a printer.
Good idea.
Ticketmaster, coming in at number 4. Hackers stole 193 million ticket barcodes valued at $23 billion.
What in the... Wow.
$23 billion.
Well, they must have been Taylor Swift tickets, right? To be that expensive.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So could I essentially, if I got my hands on one of these tickets, could I use it to go get in to a show? Are like 5 of us going to show up with this thing?
Or you could go sell it.
Sure.
If you were a bad gal, and you're not.
I'm not.
So what this means that if you have a ticket to a Ticketmaster concert, Live Nation concert, is that you better really make sure that's an authentic ticket.
Yeah.
Before you fly somewhere, go to the concert. Although I was reading something about people that went to Europe for Taylor Swift concerts, that it's actually cheaper. I mean, because here in the United States, a Taylor Swift ticket, or ticket to a Taylor Swift concert, is $1,500.
Oh,
okay, $3,000, whatever it may be. Okay, you could go to Germany and buy that ticket for $75.
Right. So the flight, all the other stuff, you're probably still coming in cheaper, and you get to go to Germany.
Yes, exactly.
That's insane.
Coming in at number 5 is, guess what's next week? We're super excited.
What?
Amazon Prime Day.
Yay! So many deals.
Oh my gosh. How do you decide as the content director what deals to put in the newsletters? How do you decide that?
That's a good question. There are a few different things. So one, I go with really popular products that I know lots of people all around the world want to buy, right? If it's popular for a reason. Things that I would want to buy, or I put myself in other people's shoes. Would Kim buy this? Would Jim, who lives in Illinois, who reads our newsletter, buy this? Would my parents buy this? Right? So kind of putting myself in those steps. Highly rated things for sure. Things, and not just highly rated on Amazon, because we all know that's kind of...
Doesn't really work.
No. For tech stuff especially, we try to read a ton of reviews, look through, all the info we can find on these things.
And then always ask John.
John is a great resource for that, yes. Especially when there's a sale, I will say, John, look through Prime Day stuff. Is there anything awesome that you would buy, or you would buy for the office, or you buy for Kim's house, whatever. He's our IT genius here. And he always has stuff that I would never think of. That's oh, yeah, people would want that.
And so if you're not already getting the newsletters, we're going to be spotlighting the best deals ever.
Yes.
The best deals ever. Because it gets overwhelming. Oh my gosh, you go on Amazon Prime. I mean, you go on Amazon.com, it's like boom, 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 boom.
Also, a little reminder, if someone doesn't have a Prime account, this is the time to get a 30-day trial, right? We'll put that link in the newsletter too. So you can sign up for a 30-day trial. You can get those deals, because you can't get the Prime Day deals if you don't have a Prime account, of course. But you don't have to pay for it. You can just get the trial. And then if you like it, great, keep it. If you don't, cancel it.
And Amazon's going to give you $20 to spend.
Oh.
On Amazon Prime Day.
Okay.
Okay, here's the catch. Is that you have to download the Amazon Photos app.
They are really pushing this Photos app.
Yeah, and then you have to upload one photo. Just one photo. That's all. And you get $20.
Well, they're hoping that people sync their photos and forget about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can.
So don't be that person.
No.
If you're going to use it, get your $20, get your photo out of there, move on.
Speaking of a really bad joke.
You thought you could get away with that because Andrew's not here.
I know. I was hoping that.
He set me on Kim duty to make sure that you don't try to get away with chicanery.
Okay. Yes. And, Andrew's camping.
He is.
I don't see him as a camper.
I didn't either. And then he described the trip to me. It sounds lovely. It's on an island. There's a foresty situation. It sounds great.
And he's not hot. It's not here in Phoenix.
Yeah, he's away from the
It's
heat.
100 and gazillion degrees. Last
17 this week.
Last night, Abby's looking at the door like she wanted to go out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I opened the door. I honest to God, she stepped out halfway and she went like this. She went, oh! And she turned around and she came back.
She's like a little old man.
Yeah, exactly. Too hot. Too hot. Okay, so my neighbor claims he took a photo of a flea on the moon. Flea on the moon. Never mind. It's just a lunatic. Oh, that one hurt. That one hurt. Hey, it's Kim Commando today. It's your fun podcast about all things digital. And just a reminder, make sure that you enter to win that $1,000 gift card because I can't win it. And so I have to give it away to somebody. It might as well be you. And so go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right. So when we start talking about authenticating our accounts, we have always, two-factor authentication. Right? We use an authenticator app.
Yep.
Maybe you get a one-time passcode.
Yeah.
Maybe it's facial recognition.
Maybe it's your finger or your thumb.
Right?
Yeah.
But now it's our voice.
Apparently, more people are getting these notices from their bank saying, hey, would you like to use your voice to authenticate your account? So maybe that means you open up your phone, you go to log into the bank app, you say something, there's a wake word or whatever it is, and then, okay, it recognizes that it's you. Let us think about all the ways that that might go wrong. So your example from before, right? There is so much Kim Commando audio out in the world. There's a lot of Ali Seligman audio out in the world. And that's probably true for most people because we've spent all these years posting videos online. Maybe there's probably stuff online of you talking that you completely forgot about. You don't even know it's there. So somebody could just go grab that stuff, replicate your voice. If that's the only way in, that's pretty scary, right?
It is.
Now, theoretically, yes, they would need to have their hands on your device. But if somebody steals your phone and that becomes a thing, yeah.
Or they do a SIM swap.
Sure.
Whatever
Yes.
it may be.
Yeah, and they could just get right into your account. So I saw this patent that Meta just filed. They want to use voice authentication and primarily for things like AR headsets and smart glasses. Because, okay, it makes sense, right? You put on this headset. You don't want to pull out a phone to sign in. You don't want to type in a password. That's a pain. And so they're saying, okay, you can use your voice to log into these things. Sounds great, but they seem to know voice is not that secure. So they filed this patent that basically takes the combination of not just how your voice sounds, but actually how your throat and your vocal cords vibrate when you speak. Yes. So it's like your voice fingerprint kind of thing. So it's not just the tone of your voice because, yeah, somebody could copy that, but it's how your voice actually moves through your throat, which is crazy. Who knows how they're going to do this? I don't know. It's at the patent stage at this point, right? But it is kind of neat to think about. All right, they're thinking about this problem, which we all recognize as a problem. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to log in? Like, if it was safe, I would love to log into things with my voice.
Okay, but let's think about this.
Yeah.
Okay. You already have on a headset. Okay. You already have on glasses.
Eyeballs?
Yes. I mean, when I want to go to the gun club,
Yeah.
yes, I am a gun owner, just putting it out there. Okay. When I want to go to the gun club to practice,
Yeah.
I just stand there, boom, and I get right into where the private access is in the back.
Yeah.
Because you know why I have to go back there?
Why?
I'm freaky like this.
You go to a special spot?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Well, because at the gun club, they have the lanes.
Okay.
Okay. And there's maybe 12 lanes. And I always, when I used to go in the 12 lanes,
Yeah.
it would kind of freak me out because I'm thinking and I even told Barry this, if somebody wants to kill somebody, they're going to do it in one of these lanes.
Okay, so someone could turn around and shoot you.
Yes. And then Barry said, yeah, but you know how many other people would turn around and shoot him? And I'm like,
well, but if he gets you first.
I know. So that's why I'm like, ooh, I can't go in the gun lanes.
So you go into a private area.
Yes. So in order to get into the private area, because there are so many weird things about me. I mean,
we all have our stuff.
I know.
You're just a private shooter.
Yes. And
So you went in the first time for this, they scanned your eyes? How did the process work?
oh yeah, you just you do it 5 times.
Okay.
And then that's how
Yeah.
they authenticate your retinas and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I mean, I'd go for eyeballs, sure. I think anything that is not me having to type in a password or deal with any kind of
But what I'm saying is with their patent,
Yeah.
why are they talking about vocal cords when they already have your eyeballs? I mean,
That's a good question. Maybe it has something to do with, and maybe eyeballs are coming, but I bet that there's a tie into this idea of future tech based around brain chip implants, being able to control things with just our minds. I bet they're preparing for all that stuff in the future. And it's above my pay grade to know why you would want voice versus eyeballs, but
There's somebody listening right now who's like, well, Kim and Ellie.
Actually,
this is what it is. And I think his name is Thor.
I would love to hear Thor, our friend Thor.
Okay, Thor. Every day, Thor, we read your long notes. Thank you as reply to our newsletter.
Yeah, Thor leaves really detailed, lovely comments. Never leaves a way to contact him back. So,
hi, Thor. Hi, Thor. Hi, Thor.
You're doing well.
Hey, it's Kim Komando today. It's where we talk about all things digital. And hey, for the first time, this is actually pretty big stuff. For so many years, as I said, we cannot put the Kim Komando show out as a podcast. We just can't do it. We have to protect our radio affiliates and everybody like that. Well, it's finally come to the time where I'm joining everybody else in the world who has their show out as a podcast. So you could get the Kim Komando show as a podcast. It does have commercials in it by just searching for Kim Komando show. Now, if you want to spend a few bucks, you can get it commercial free over at Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So in case you ever want to try out the 3-hour Kim Komando show, it's not 3 hours because, again, we have to cut a whole bunch of things out. Because, when you're doing a show for a radio station, is that you do a lot of different things because you have to fill in because they're going to go to traffic and commercial breaks and things like that. So anyway, just search for Kim Komando show. Once again, that's Kim Komando show wherever you get your podcasts. All right. So, let's talk about acquisitions.
Mergers too?
Yes. I asked ChatGPT, give me some crazy acquisitions.
Okay. So
now,
this is when a company buys another company to fold them in. Yep.
Yeah. And I said, make it fairly recent. And, now keep in mind, some of these numbers may be off because, this is ChatGPT.
Sure. This is for entertainment purposes.
Yes, it could be hallucinating, as we like to say. They don't say that ChatGPT is lying. They like to use the word hallucinating because I think that sounds a little bit better.
It sounds druggier.
It does. It does. Broadcom acquires VMware for $61 billion. $61 billion. VMware, they say, is a leader in virtualization and cloud infrastructure.
Great. That's a lot of money.
AMD bought Xilinx, programmable logical devices.
Okay, so far these are all really intricate tech.
Yeah, $49 billion for that.
Whoa, okay.
On the list too, Elon Musk.
Sure.
He bought Twitter for $44 billion.
What an investment.
Okay, how much is that? I think it's worth $10 billion now?
Yeah, it's certainly not above 20.
No. Would you buy it?
No.
If you had $10 billion, would you buy it?
No.
I wouldn't either. Who would want that?
No.
Slack, which we don't use, but a lot of people do. Salesforce bought that.
That's a big one.
Just about $28 billion.
That's so much money.
This is big money. Adobe, Figma, $20 billion. What does Figma do?
Figma is essentially, it's really similar to InDesign or other Adobe products. And I think a lot of people who preferred Figma were kind of mad that Adobe bought it because they've made it more Adobe-like.
Meaning you have to pay for everything.
Yes.
With a monthly subscription.
Yes.
Microsoft bought Nuance for $20 billion.
What was that?
Nuance, Dragon Natural Speaking.
Okay.
For the AI tech, probably behind that.
Okay.
And so I was on Instagram looking at some, reels, as I do. And I ran across this one that's very interesting about the history behind Facebook buying Instagram. Because remember, they were fierce competitors at one time.
Yeah. And
a lot of people wanted to buy Instagram. So if you're watching the video feed, we're going to play the video. You can watch it at youtube.com/KimKomando or rumble.com/KimKomando, wherever you are. But the really easiest is at youtube.com/KimKomando. But if you are listening to the audio version, you can still experience it. But if you want to see the video version, you have to go over to YouTube. So, hey, Mads, why don't you go ahead and let that rip?
So there's a great story of Zuck when he bought Instagram. The founder of Instagram, Kevin Systrom, used to work at a place called Odeo. He was actually kind of like an intern sitting at the desk next to this guy named Jack Dorsey. Mark Zuckerberg starts texting Kevin Systrom. I want to talk to you about buying the company. So he's like, okay, I guess I'll take the meeting. He already has a deal on the table to sell to Twitter for $550 million. He then meets with Sequoia, the number one VC in Silicon Valley, and they say, you know what? You should stay independent. Instagram can be big. We will fund you at $500 million. So same valuation, but you get to keep going. You get to keep your independence. But he goes to meet Zuck, and he goes, unlike Twitter, Zuck did not take no for an answer. So he goes to his house, and now this is Good Friday. Easter's on Sunday. He goes to his house on Friday, and he walks in, and Zuck says the following. He says, I thought about it, and I want to buy your company. And Kevin's like, I know, but I already said no. He says, I will give you double whatever you're currently raising your round at. So whatever your price is, I'll give you double. And that would mean that Instagram would be worth $1 billion. And nobody had ever paid this much for a mobile app before. This would be the first deal of its kind. Instagram had zero revenue, had like less than 20 employees. It was tiny. This seemed like an outrageously over the top way of going about that. And Zuck said, well, look, I can give you $1 billion for this, but here's the deal. We got to do this deal this weekend. And he basically pushed him. And this was, again, it's Easter on Sunday. Nobody's working over the weekend. The Twitter guys think that they have a deal in the bag. The Sequoia guys think that they have the deal in the bag. And the mistake they made was they thought that work starts on Mondays. And Zuck just decided to work over the weekend.
Bought it for $1 billion. Less than 20 employees.
It's crazy. Well, and it turned out to be a really good investment for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just throwing it out there. Zuck, you can have us. You can have us.
We're especially into that pay double on the weekend situation.
100%.
We would take that.
$1 billion? $1 billion might be stretching it, though. Might be stretching it.
Okay.
So I think we'd sell for, I don't know, 400 million.
Okay.
400 million.
Does that mean 800 over the weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's 400 million today.
Yeah.
But if you want to double, of course. And I still would work.
Sure. We'll stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying how long. But just saying.
A while.
I'd be here. We could call it the Mark Zuckerberg Today podcast. What do you think? All right, so it's hot outside, and we are hotter than ever here at Kim Commando today. And just a reminder, make sure that you enter to win that $1,000 gift card for your favorite airline. Head over to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. And you know what? Do me a solid. Tell at least one person about the podcast, our newsletter, because we need to have more friends. Let's just put it that way. We need to have more friends. I have 500,000 friends. That's what I've decided with, because that's our, the number of people that are getting our newsletters.
Yeah.
I don't think I have more than 500,000 friends. I'm trying to.
I think most people cap out at about 10 friends.
I've got 500,000.
And you've got 500,000, so that's pretty good.
Yes, exactly.
But now we need those 500,000 to tell one person.
First person.
And then we're at 1 million.
Exactly.
That's so easy.
So I got off the plane the other day in Phoenix, Arizona, having not been in town for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And took a breath of fresh air.
When you say fresh.
I thought I was going to die.
It's really hot.
Okay.
It's really, really hot, Kim. I think tomorrow, maybe today, 117. It's hot.
Yeah. Let me put this in perspective for those of you who don't understand what 117 degrees feels like. So let's say that you have preheated your oven for your turkey dinner.
Yep.
Okay. And you let that sucker go for like 20 minutes to get up to whatever it was, because you thought it would take a lot less time. We've all done that. You hit preheat, and then a couple of minutes goes by,
Takes
5
forever.
minutes. Yeah, and you're like, okay, and then finally 20 minutes. So you open that oven door, and then it goes, and you're like, oh God, my mascara's melting. Okay. That's what it feels like.
It does. It hits you in the face. You're right. Your mascara, anything else you have on your face is going to melt right off. People's shoes are melting. Because here's the thing. It's that hot in the air, but what about all the surfaces?
Yeah.
I think about this a lot because of my dog.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to take her out to go on a walk because it's going to burn her little paws. But I didn't realize just how hot the ground got. NASA did a study. So on the International Space Station, they have something called eco-stress. Okay, this is for like super nerds, right? It's the Ecosystem Spaceborne Thermal Radiometer Experiment on Space Station. Yeah, so boring. But this measures essentially how much heat is coming off of surfaces. So they decided last month, let's map Phoenix and see what it's like. And so these were numbers that they got from, this was in June. And
it was a lot cooler.
It was. So there was a day when the temperature at the airport in the air was 106. On the ground at the airport, 140.
Gosh.
And there were other areas in town where it got up to 160 degrees. on the ground. So part of their point was be really careful if you fall down.
Oh, yeah. You could be bad.
Oh my
It'd be
gosh,
bad.
you can get severe burns, right?
Right.
So careful with your dogs, careful with going outside yourself, spending time. It's so much hotter than just what the temperature in the air is, which this thing kind of blew me away. In New York, also very hot. No, it's not 117 there. I think it's like in the 90s. But it's different because it's so humid there.
And your hair looks like crap.
That's true. Except when I lived in New York, my skin was so much better because of the water and the
that's
humidity.
True. That's true.
Gosh, I miss that. The 3rd Avenue Bridge that connects the Bronx and Manhattan, it just stopped working because the metal swelled so much because it was so hot.
What do you mean it stopped working?
It stopped moving. It was stuck together. You couldn't.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are these videos that you can watch. We'll put it on the website, but essentially huge boats that have water shooting out of the back to cool down the bridge. And they finally got it. I think it took all day. They finally at night, it got, cool enough that they could have people on this bridge again.
So what do you put the air conditioning at in your house?
Oh, this is greatly debated, Kim. I'm going cool this summer. When we go to bed, 72.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they say you're supposed to, what is it, 78 is like the recommended.
No, you can't sleep in that.
I can't live like that.
No. I put ours at 69.
Yeah.
Sometimes 68.
If I'm really struggling, I go to 70. It doesn't help too. Our bedroom is the hottest room in the house.
Well, we have all these blinds and blackout shades
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I'm still trying to get all that to work. It's just a nightmare. But I had one of those meetings that, it's those meetings that I don't know if you've actually ever seen me have one of those meetings
I don't think so.
where I have to come in and I be that person that I really don't want to be.
Laying the smackdown?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it started with 3 years ago.
No wonder. It was 3 years ago.
You promised me that I would have all this automation in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And after so much money that has been spent, I have over 900 connected devices in my house.
900.
900 smart devices in my house.
For perspective, I bet most normal people have 50 max. And that's
I have 900.
That's insane, Kim.
It's insane.
Yeah.
35 miles of Cat 6 cable in the house.
The digital goddess.
Right?
Amazing.
But do you know that I cannot look on the app and see whether or not the shades are up or down? You know what I have to do?
What?
And if I'm not home and I want to see if the shades are up and down, this is the stupidest thing. Is I have one of those little Astro robots,
Yeah.
okay, from Amazon that they just discontinued.
They did.
Okay. So what I do is I have to get on the Amazon app and I send this guy into the living room so that I can tell whether or not the shades are up or down.
There's a problem here. See, no wonder you had to be sassy at a meeting.
So, and, I said, and I told him, I said, I am the digital goddess, but I want to be able to look on an app and go, poof.
I mean, that seems reasonable to me.
So
Do
they
you
told me
think
that
it's gonna happen?
they told me that their system doesn't work with 900 devices. It only works with 600. So then why did I get it? Okay.
Could you get two and split the devices?
That's what we're trying to do.
Okay, there you go.
That's what we're trying to do. They're trying to figure all it out. And then when they figure it all out, then we'll talk more about the company and everything new. And then, and you're right. I mean, this is a very valid point. Not a lot of people have 900 smart devices in their house.
I guess this is how they find the limit, right? Somebody has to break it to figure out.
Well,
you're the guinea pig.
Yeah, and but here's the reason why, is that I have 150 shades in the house.
Oh my gosh, Kim.
Okay.
You
know
do have
why?
a lot of. It's a glass house.
It's a glass. I live in a glass house. Okay. A glass house in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's 117 degrees. Okay.
It must be covered up.
Okay. So what you have two shades. And it was my decision to put two shades in every window. Because some people said, oh, you only need the UV shades on the west side. You need the blackout shades only in the bedroom. You need the blackout shades. And I'm like, no. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right.
Yeah, everything everywhere.
Okay, yeah. So every window has two shades. So that's 150 devices. And I'm kind of obsessed with the shades right now, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Because I can't know if they're up or down.
Uh-huh.
I can't control the temperature. And sometimes when it goes on cool auto,
Hold on. You can't control the temperature of your house like your thermostats?
not on the app, no.
Kim!
Yes, this is why I was mad. Okay. And so now Samsung, they came in and they said, well, it was the engineer's fault and it's this fault. And everybody's pointing fingers. And so Samsung now in South Korea is now involved.
This has become a big issue.
It is. This house
Yeah.
is, I mean, it's spectacular and I'm very blessed. I'm very happy
It's a beautiful home, but it's a lot of years of your life that you put into this house.
A lot of years.
Yeah. How many years are you up to?
I think I'm up to 7 now. I think I'm in year 7.
Okay. And you've lived there, what, 7 months?
Yeah, something like that. But no, but it's, you know what?
It is a beautiful, beautiful
It's
home.
gorgeous.
Yes.
And it has this amazing view and all these other things. But I'm just saying, like, you know, for me to get the house of the future and everything that I have, that, you know, all these promises, they are just really promises at this point. And
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not plug and play. It's not easy. And probably once the scale goes up, the more stuff,
Yes.
the harder it's going to be.
Yes. So we just keep that in mind in case you ever want to build your dream house. Don't.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.
If you're busy juggling life, there's still you time. That's where DMAC comes in. With online classes that are flexible and convenient, you can even earn a degree in business, liberal arts, or criminal justice completely online. With mobile and student-friendly features, DMAC's outstanding online program will help you get the job or promotion you deserve. DMAC Online, with you in mind. Apply today. Your time, your DMAC.